If you are struggling with your foundation, you feel like you put it on, it looks patchy, it looks crappy on you, and you're like, I don't know what it is the foundation I'm using? Am I not using the right one? That's what today's video is going to be about. So I'm going to apply my foundation. I'm going to give you some tips as I'm applying it because so many people do this wrong. I see it over and over again. And I'm going to be honest with you. I see makeup artists do this wrong. I see people that are trained and they're doing it wrong. And I'm going to explain how to do it correctly. So if you've been struggling, this video's for you. Let's get into it. As I shared in the beginning of the video, I want to show you how to properly apply your foundation. I've shared a similar video to this, but I really wanted to share another video with some other tips because I see so many people putting way too much foundation on. And I think when you have mature skin like I do, especially, I mean, I think even if you're younger, these tips are going to be helpful. But especially when you're older, your skin could really look not very pretty with makeup on if you're not doing it correctly. As always, you want to make sure that you are prepping your skin first. I've already done that. So I have already applied all of my skincare as part of my skincare routine. I did all my little devices that I like to use. And then I applied a moisturizer. Really important to do that. Next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with a primer. Don't have to use this one. That's just the one that I'm using today. This is the one that's from Sicily. I love this one. It's a weird name. It's called Instant and Long Term. You see that? I've had this one for a while now. I actually just bought a backup of it because I love it so much and I've been using it more now. I bought it and then I wasn't using it. I'm like, why did you buy it and you're not using it? I want to use it for special occasions or whatever. I'm not doing that. And by the way, one thing I did not do today is I did not put sunscreen on, but I'm not going outside today. Okay, so don't get on me about that. I'm not going out today. Normally I do, but I'm not going out. I'm just doing a little bit of filming. I'm going to be okay. So I just kind of let that sit on for a minute because I want to talk about foundation. Now, the one that I'm going to wear today, I hated this one. I cannot tell you much. I hated it. It was all because of the way I was applying it. So I'm going to go in with this one. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. If you have dry skin, would not recommend this. Would not. What you want to do if you have dry skin, there's a couple options that you can do. If you're thinking about like you have some, like this is a good day for showing this because I have a little bit of redness here on my face. If you have dry skin, you can use a CC cream, BB cream. You can use a concealer like this one from Natasha Denona as a foundation. And all you have to do is apply it in the areas that you need it and blend it out. It's going to be the same technique. I think I just made a little noise with my throat. It's going to be the same technique as I'm going to use with applying this. So you can do the same technique, but you can use just a concealer if you want to. But you want to use something that has some good coverage in it. You can use a serum foundation, one that's more skin-like if that's your thing. If you don't have a lot to cover up and you just want it to look fresh, that's a really good option for you too. So I'm going to take Charlotte Tilbury. I'm not going to put a pump on. And no, we're not doing it. Let me show you. Do you see that amount that I have? That's what I'm using. And now if you feel like you need to add more as you're blending it out, you can add more. But once you put too much on, it's really hard to get it off. So I'm just going to go in and I'm going to start right here where I've got that redness where I was picking up my face today. Now I knew I was going to do a video. And in my nose area, like that. Now we're going to take this brush. I like to use a brush lately, but you can use a damp sponge if you'd like to. I don't know, I've been just into brushes for a little bit now. I feel like I used sponges for so long. And now, because I'm applying my foundation a little bit differently, I'm just really liking to use a brush. And I'm going to let you see this close up too. I'm going to do one side of my face, which I usually like to do anyway because Foundation can start to dry, so you don't want to put all over your face when you're really taking the time to blend it out. I have a little bit of redness there. I don't know what I did. I think I was tweezing. So I'm just going to take the teeniest, tiniest amount there. And I just want to put it right there. And I didn't even use that full little dot that I got. It's still kind of showing up a little bit, but hopefully when I do my, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it there and maybe tap it with my finger. I feel like I have a tiny bit of redness there still, so I'm just going to take, that's all that was left on my finger from that tiny little dot. This foundation, you do not need a lot. You don't need a lot. I can't stress that enough. Or you will hate it, like I did. I still can't get that little bump there. I know on camera it looks okay, but... Okay, so let me show you my face close up. So see how it looks nice and even and skin-like for a full coverage foundation. It looks pretty good. I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. But look how nice that looks. I feel like I might need a little bit more right there too. But that's why I said put a little bit on. Now let's talk about the chin. As I noticed, there's been people have left me comments and said they can't keep their makeup on their chin. If you feel like that, you might want to use a gripping primer in that specific area first before you apply your foundation. I don't have that issue. I have dry skin, I don't. But one thing I will tell you is I do not touch my face. I don't know if you're someone that touches your face. So if you're somebody that touches your face, maybe you're somebody that like, you know, maybe you're sitting like this or like if you're touching your face, you're going to take your makeup off. Setting sprays can help with that and all that. So, but I would recommend using a gripping primer, and then I would set that, and then I would even with a setting powder, and then I would set it with some setting spray. But that's about all you can do. But if you are touching and you could also be putting too much foundation on where it's just slipping right off of you. It could be an oilier area. You saw how little I put on. So I'm going to do the same thing. Like I'm barely using any. You see the coverage I'm getting. And it is, I'm telling you, so many people use way too much foundation. I don't know why they're using so much. And I never used gobs and gobs of foundation. But I definitely use less now. It looks like I have a whole bunch and I just used like a little dot. And you have to consider that too when you're buying a foundation and you're paying a little bit more. It should last you longer because you're not putting on that much. All foundation should do is even out your skin tone. And as I said, if you feel like you put it on and you're like, it's not enough, then you add more. Now, if you have a lot of large pores, another way that I've shared how to do foundation is to rub it in. That's what I'm doing right here. I'm rubbing it in. You could also use a pore filling primer, but if you don't want to use a pore filling primer, then what you can do is in the areas that you have large pores, you want to make sure that you are rubbing that foundation in. So do you see how I blended it in? It doesn't look patchy. It's not like, it doesn't look like I have polka dot pores or there's no dry patches or anything. And the reason for that is because 1, I prepped my skin well. 2, I did not overuse my product. And 3, I blended it out well. You've got to blend your foundation in well. This is just something that like I said, that I've learned even myself because I was overusing foundation. Now I don't overuse my foundation. You just don't want to overuse your foundation. So I'm going to get the rest of my makeup on and I'll be right back. So my foundations have been sitting out for a little bit. And even though this isn't a check-in video, I still want you to see what it looks like now that it's been sitting on. So I'm not talking out of my ass. Do you see how nice it looks? It's not settling into my lines or anything. See, not settling anywhere. Doesn't look patchy or icky. It's all in the way that you're applying it and prepping. So prepping is number one. Prep your skin. Number two, don't overuse a foundation. If you put on too much, it might look amazing when you first put it on, but I'm telling you, as you wear it, it's going to look like crap. So don't use too much foundation. Use a little bit, apply a little bit, and then you can always add a little bit more if you need to. Even if you're using something that's a serum. Now, the foundation that I was using is full coverage, so that I have to barely use any, because I'm telling you, if you use too much of that, you will hate it. I've learned to really love this foundation now because I know how to use it. So if you're using a serum type of foundation, you can use a little bit more than what I did, but I would say try a half a pump, and in that half a pump, apply just a little bit on your face, work it in. If you need more, you can do more. Otherwise, you can use the rest of that, whether you put it in your finger or the back of your hand, whatever you do, okay? Then you can use it on the other side of your face. But if you put on too much foundation, you can't take it off. You can blend forever, and it's just not going to look good. Trust me on this. Less is best. Now, if you have areas of your face that you feel like the foundation doesn't stick well, then you're going to want to use a gripping primer first. And you don't have to use it all over. You can just use it in those specific areas. If you're somebody that has larger pores, you can do it the way I said. You can use your fingers and apply it to really blend it in, then take a brush and then finish blending it. Or you can go in and use a pore filling primer first, and then you apply your foundation on top. And something else too that I didn't mention is you might be looking at my technique and think, well, I have a lot of redness. I need to put on a lot of foundation. You don't. This is what you do. If you find that you have a lot of redness or discoloration, then you want to go in with the color corrector first. So if you have redness, you're going to want to go in with a green color corrector. I know it's going to look weird when you first put it on, and you don't want to overuse that either. So you just put a little bit of that on. Then on top of that, then you go in with your foundation. And only use that color corrector where you need to. So if you don't have redness on your forehead, you don't have to put it on your forehead. I feel like this is where people have redness. So if you feel like you have redness, just put a little bit on there, then put your foundation on top of it. And again, just use a little bit at a time. Especially, as I said, and I know I'm repeating myself, when you have mature skin, the more we pile on, it just doesn't look pretty. You want it to look as skin-like as possible. You don't want somebody to just notice that it looks like you have a mask on, you know what I mean? So you just have to be light-handed with it. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I really hope that it was helpful and informative. If you have any other makeup concerns, if there's areas that you are struggling with and you want me to share a video, please let me know in the comments. Sometimes I will just answer you if it's something that I don't know if it's enough that I can do a video on, but if it's something that I can do a video on, I will do it for you. So please let me know in the comments below. And if you are new here, I would love to have you join. I share new videos every single week. Please consider smashing that subscribe button below. It is free. And before you leave, thank you so much. I really appreciate each and every one of you. I really, really do. You could be doing anything right now, but you're hanging out with me, and that makes you really cool. So anyways, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you all in my next video. Bye.